So this video will center largely around the Gold Hoarder himself and of course the Shores of Gold. So for those of you who have not completed the Shores of Gold, be aware that there are spoilers ahead, so you may as well turn around and not watch the video. Actually don't do that. Come back. I spent a lot of time making it. Come back. Hey! Hey! Come back! Hey peeps, Falcore here. So I was doing the Shores of Gold for the final time last night to get my 100% completion of the Tall Tales and to earn myself the legendary Golden Curse, which although looks cool, also looks like the Gold Hoarder took a chod on your face. And as I was traversing the lands for the final time and reading the journals on my travels, I learnt quite a few interesting things. First of all, the Shores of Gold, which is actually referred to as Tribute Peak, is a land of the ancients. You could in fact say it was where they originated from, or perhaps a holy place where they combined their knowledge with the merfolk and kept some of their most sacred artifacts. Oh, and I also learned that according to the game, I haven't even completed Shores of Gold yet. OCD trigger scene. Long before anyone came here, this land would have been in a little better condition. Over time, those who have ventured here, the Gold Hoarder himself, the Pirate Lord and Briggsy have made a little mess of the surrounding landscape, trying to find a way into the crypts that dwell beneath. The Gold Hoarder found his way into the crypts via its original entrance, but blew up the entrance so no one else could venture after him. But in order to get into the crypts, just like us, he would have had to solve the various puzzle vaults scattered around the island in order to get a key to unlock the gate. But here's where it gets interesting. The key that you take from the compass vault is marked with an insignia of the Gold Hoarder. The Gold Hoarders were never a thing during the time of the ancients, so the mark above the key and the key itself are creations of the Gold Hoarder. So what was there before his arrival? What did he take in order to get down into the crypts and unlock the door? And whilst we're on the subject, why did he even bother leaving a possible entry point for anyone else? What is it with villains making things so easy for heroines to smite them?
I am the Gold Hoarder, none shall find my lair. Unless of course you get that key, I left it for you. Shit.
In a previous video where I explored the underwater structures that strongly resemble those at Tribute Peak, I noticed the same reoccurring shape etched into the stone tablets that were always present next to large gateways. I am pretty convinced that these gateways are some sort of mystical travel system created in collaboration with the ancients and the merfolk. This entire area is definitely a place where the two factions used to meet. At the end of the towering statues, there is a path that leads directly into the water. Even in the crypt below, you can see areas that would have been perfect to habitat sea life. Or rather, was perfect before Mr. Goldie came along and ruined it with all his spikes. The ancients loved gold, almost as much as the Gold Hoarder, and some of this gold held a curse which would do an array of nasty things. Turn people into skeletons, taint their flesh with gold, or collect enticing suppositories. And the ancients, I think, knew with their limited numbers that they could not guard this gold forever. So they needed a protector or protectors, a collection of people who would cheat death and guard their hoard until the end of time. Now let's take a look at the symbols that you put in place after doing all of the puzzle vaults. First of all, note that this area known as the Compass Vault is named that as the symbol in the middle is like that of an ancient compass. These symbols are actually star constellations and not mere decoration. You can read about these star constellations in the quest Stars of a Thief. The Kraken, the Old Mother, the original Kraken that birthed them all, now deceased by the hands of the ancients by chaining her until she starved. The Shark, that is the spy of the Kraken, that fights with the Scarab, and it's also said that the Scarab taught the ancients how to use tools, such as the chains that held the Kraken in place. Try to remember that an actual Scarab didn't do this, it's a metaphor. A bit like if I said your brain is cheese for thinking an actual Scarab taught them how to make swords. A tar-pitched boat rowed by logs for oars, signifying that the ancients travelled to this land via vessel and didn't originate here. And the most important of all of these, the great warrior, thirsts for war, still lives on. Still lives on, as in immortal? Could it be that the ancients were dabbling with a curse and discovered that it could prolong their life, so they could choose a faction of mighty warriors to look over these lands and protect what lay beneath? But something went wrong. They didn't know of the eventual transformation of this curse, and although it indeed made them live forever, it also turned them into the undead. Could the ancients be the possible cause of the skeleton curse? Could Tribute Peak be ground zero? So the Gold Hoarder must have vanquished whatever lay beneath these caverns and took the whole place for his own, putting up his flags everywhere and quite frankly ruining the place. In essence, he became the new protector of the gold. But what did he originally take from the Compass Vault in order to unlock these vast caverns? It must have been something very precious for him to add it to his hoard of gold. Upon defeating the Gold Hoarder, he explodes into 1,000 pieces and becomes one with the gold that surrounds this crypt. The Pirate Lord himself appears and says this:
"As for the Gold Hoarder, I doubt we've seen the last of him. It's never that easy to scrub away the stain greed leaves behind."
So although you have defeated the Gold Hoarder and you hold the skull in your hands, the Gold Hoarder's essence still lives on, and he may return one day, traversing the world where he can hide. But what does he use to traverse these lands, where we might see him in future expansions? There must be some sort of artifact or key that he stashed somewhere for later use? Some sort of triangular shaped jewel, perhaps? That's it for today, folks. Thanks very much for watching. If you liked the video, please go ahead and click that like button. And if you really liked the video, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. And hell, click that bell so you're always informed of Sea of Thieves news updates and other general random guff that I might upload. Until next time, everybody, happy sailing. Bye-bye.